Well, we did it. We made it through a full week of online instruction without Mr. Murray's hair catching on fire. No small accomplishment, that. Anyway, I thought I'd wrap up our week with something nice and easy. Sound good? If you just said no, well, you didn't say it loud enough and I didn't hear you, so I'm going with easy. Let's just do a quick look at what we discussed yesterday. In the last video, I said that latitude and longitude are a way of expressing an absolute location, meaning no additional information is necessary. If you have a spot's latitude and longitude, you can find that exact spot without needing to know anything else. If you think about it, though, when we describe where something is when we're talking with each other, that's not how our descriptions usually work. Here's an example. I live in Georgetown, Texas, but I grew up in the Houston area. When I'm back home visiting some of my old friends and I tell them, yeah, I live in Georgetown, a lot of them are all, where on earth is Georgetown? Isn't that a school in Washington, D.C. or something? Now, if I wanted to, I could tell them Georgetown is located at 30.6333 degrees north, 97.6780 degrees west. But as you might imagine, that's likely to make them more confused, not less. Instead, I usually say something like, Georgetown is about 25 miles north of Austin. And when they hear that, they totally understand where Georgetown is. That's an example of relative location, where you describe where something is relative to something else. My explanation wouldn't help them if they didn't know where Austin was, but since they do, explaining that Georgetown is a few miles north of it is way more useful than a couple of numbers with 4 digits after the decimal point. We do this all the time. If I tell you that I like swimming at the pool that's by the Sonic, or that my house is right down the street from Miss Patterson's house, that makes sense to you. Side note, please don't ask me where Miss Patterson lives. If I tell you, she'll probably throw stuff at me the next time she sees me. That's all there is to relative location. Just explain where something is by comparing it to another place. I'm now going to help you with your homework by doing it myself. So follow along as I complete the social studies assignment for the day. Hey y'all, I'm about to do your entire social studies assignment. I cannot promise that your answers will be the same as mine, but, well, at least you'll learn how to do it yourself. So here we go. It's the end of the week. What is my first name? Teacher. What is my last name? Jimmy. Who is my social studies teacher? Well, I am. What period do I have social studies? We'll go with second. All right. Type the secret word from the video. Well, since this is the video, I guess I can share it with you. The secret word for today is defenestrate. I'm betting you might not know what that means, so allow me to share with you that the word defenestrate means to take someone and throw them out a window. Can you believe that there is actually a word that means that? Well, now you know. Let's see. The word is accepted. By the way, I will put a copy of the word in the YouTube video description, so if you want to cut and paste it, it will be right there. All right. Which country did you choose on Tuesday? So most people will have different answers, but I chose the United States of America. If you chose that, you weren't supposed to. I said you could not choose America. All right. Then we have some maps that'll help us out. There's the map of the hemispheres, north, south, east, west. And let's see. Is your country in the northern hemisphere, the southern hemisphere, or is it on the equator? Because if it was on the equator, it would actually be in both. Well, the United States is up here, so for me, I'm going to say it's in the northern hemisphere. Is your country in the eastern hemisphere, the western hemisphere, or is it on the prime meridian? So the prime meridian's here. Again, the United States is over here, so that is the western hemisphere. And here's a climate zones map. Is your country mostly in a tropical zone, a temperate zone, or a polar zone? Well, with the exception of Alaska and Hawaii, the main part of the United States right here is in the temperate zone. So, yay for having seasons. What is your country's latitude and longitude? In other words, its absolute location. Well, here is where we are going to leverage the awesome power of the internet. I'm going to open a Google search page and I'm going to type in United States lat long, just because I'm being a little lazy. Latitude and longitude would also work, but right here, Google was smart enough to know what I wanted, and they have given me the latitude and longitude of the United States. This point would actually be the point right in the middle of the United States. I'm going to copy this and then paste it into my answer here. You're, of course, welcome to type it out yourself if you like. Next is describe your country's relative location. That means you're going to have to explain it compared to another country, probably, or maybe one of the oceans. So, for example, for the United States, I could say that my country is north of Mexico. I could also say south of Canada, or on the eastern side of the Pacific Ocean or the western side of the Atlantic Ocean. There's a lot of things I could say, but all I have to do is describe where it is by comparing it to something else. So find your country on a map, and I promise you, it's by some other stuff, and you can explain where it is compared to that. If your country is just a little island in the middle of an ocean, you can literally say that it is an island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean is a relative location because you're comparing it to the Pacific Ocean. And with that, you are done for the week. The only thing that's left is for me to announce the winners of our contest and the people who are getting prizes. Hold on just a sec. This is a map of all of our winning countries. We had 54 kids, 54 winners, pick countries that no one else chose. Which countries did they pick? I'm so glad you asked. Hold on. Afghanistan, Angola, Antigua and Barbuda, Azerbaijan, Bangladesh, Barbados, Belize, Bhutan, Bolivia, Brazil, Brunei, Burundi, Cameroon, Czechia, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Estonia, Greece, Haiti, Iran, Ireland, Israel, Jamaica, Kenya, Kosovo, Kuwait, Lebanon, Lithuania, Malta, Moldova, Montenegro, New Zealand, Niger, Pakistan, Palau, Panama, Poland, Qatar, Russia, Rwanda, Samoa, Sierra Leone, Singapore, Slovakia, the Solomon Islands, Sweden, Thailand, Togo, Tunisia, Ukraine, the United Arab Emirates, Uruguay, Uzbekistan, Vatican City, and Zambia. Please don't ever make me do that again. Anyway, if you were one of the people who picked one of these 54 winning countries, you should receive an email explaining to you about your prize. To everybody else, no worries. Mr. Murray has contests for prizes kind of a lot, so you will have plenty of chances of your own. Well, I already did the yay, you made it through a week thing, so I guess I'm just going to sign off here. I hope you guys have learned a little bit of something this week, and I look forward to doing it again next week. If you need any help, please reach out. And until then, stay safe and stay healthy.